Okay, so we're in the Aseret Yomei Tshuva, very special holy time. We're on the 17th of the 48 ways of Noah Weinberg's Sefer. Today we'll be looking at Miy'ut, Derech, Etez, translated to the power of marriage. Okay, so in a person's life, we do many things, many mitzvot, day to day, but being married is the holiest of the holy. I mean, it is where we see the great love of the Almighty for us. We can really see it through the way we can love another person. Shows us how much love Hashem has for us. And marriage is referred to as kiddushin, coming from the word kadosh, holy. So marriage is a super holy thing, and B'ezrat Hashem, we should all find our besheret and live a happy life with them ad 120 shana. In our, being Jewish, marriage has a amazing, koach, amazing power. And before getting married, people should always, people should work hard on themselves in yeshiva, midrasha, seminary, to really build themselves up to get ready to that point to find their soulmate, so that they're really ready to start a new chapter, really a rebirth in their life. So, so I'm just after a workout here. So let's see. So within a marriage, the Kadosh HaKodashim, the holiest part of this holy marriage is the aspect of intimacy. This is something that should be very guarded, kept very private for a couple. And this is known as one of the holiest acts that a married couple can do. And it really needs to be learned and done properly, and it can really be a big strengthener for a marriage. So this is the core of a marriage, really, even though it's not the only thing by far, not the only thing, but it is a very important aspect. So the Rav Noach writes, know that this union is a holy and pure thing when it is properly conducted in the proper time with the proper intention. And B'ezrat Hashem can bring holy Jewish neshamas to the world in the proper way. So very, very holy. Now, here it says, the Torah says, a man should therefore leave his father and mother and be united with his wife, and they shall become one flesh. When a person is ready to get married, they are making a big change in their life. They're going from being a child, essentially, who they answer to their parents, and no matter really how old they are, and going and forming their own family, very special thing. And it's believed that, two half neshamas are coming together to form a full one neshama, not two separate neshamas being side by side. It's really one new neshama being created. Let's see. So marriage creates a new spiritual reality by fusing two halves into a single entity. Intimacy in a marriage is a deep expression of that oneness. And when a person is married, it really is a rebirth. Okay, so a big issue, it's happened throughout time, but really the rates have gone up in today's time is divorce, which is as a get. It's very, very sad, very, very drastic measure to be taken. And it really should be avoided. And from what I hear today, the reason that the numbers are going up is because people are less willing to, go into things like marriage therapy and to work on their relationships. And they're more kind of want a quick fix, no, I'm not happy. I'm starting something new. And, it's kind of that's kind of the way the generation treats a lot of things, not just marriage, like items, things don't really get fixed so much anymore. Something breaks or it's a little bit, I get rid of it, buy a new one. It's kind of a more temporary times that we live in. People think more about the immediate moment rather than the long term. So unfortunately, marriage can kind of take that view as well. And people should really realize that, this step of divorce is a very big, drastic measure, a very sad, something that, again, should be really avoided. And they give a nice way of putting it here is that in certain cases, it might, let's see, I'll just read it exactly. Realize, however, that divorce, though necessary in certain situations, is akin to amputation. It is a drastic final measure one takes when it becomes essential for survival. A person never wants to cut off their arm. It has to be a pretty, drastic situation where they know, okay, I do a lot of things with my arm, but if I don't remove this arm, I might not survive, but it's a very drastic measure. You do not want to amputate a limb, as for shalom. So divorces should be viewed similarly. Okay. Choosing the right partner. The Jewish framework has a really amazing, system. There are different ways in different Jewish communities, whether it's a shadchan, through meeting through friends, the rabbanim helping, but the overarching idea is that dating should be for the point of getting married, not just to date. Should have a purpose. The man and woman should be thinking long term, thinking, is this person someone that I can spend the rest of my life with? And it's written here that there's qualities that might be important to certain people, but really the three of the main most important ones are if the person is kind, honest, and loyal. We'll just read this inside the book. Kindness means that more than being nice and polite, it means being genuinely concerned with the needs of others with no ulterior motives. It means moving beyond yourself and feeling another person's pain and joy. You cannot truly become one with someone who is selfish and self-absorbed. So it's good to check that your potential spouse is kind, in not just in the way they speak, but really a genuine kindness that they really care about you. They care about other people. They care. They're caring people that don't just are not self-absorbed, as it says here. Honesty is the foundation for trust and communication. It enables you to build a genuine relationship, not a superficial one that is ultimately a charade. So, making sure the person is honest, not putting on a show, and, if, you want to make sure that it's not a show, you can really get a feel for who this person is. Unfortunately, sometimes there is, you hear stories where someone had maybe a serious breakdown or addiction or things like that, and they just chose not to speak about it or things like that in the dating process. And it's not always, people don't have to share everything, but important things, I guess, should be shared before a couple decides to get married. Loyalty means you can trust, rely, and count on someone. It's the foundation of commitment, and it shows that this person understands that marriage is forever. Loyalty creates a safe haven for you to open up and allow another person to become an intimate part of your life. So really finding that the potential spouse is looking for long-term things, not just day-to-day fun, maybe not too wild of a person that just kind of wants, a thrill of a beautiful wedding, and then it's a person that wants to settle down, wants to build a life together with you. So these are three very important qualities as outlined here. For strengthening our relationships, it's very important that each spouse doesn't do things to damage the marriage, doesn't get wrapped up in the immorality that's out there in society. The person should really try to avoid things that will hurt their neshama, whether it's their eyes, watching their eyes, avoid going to certain places, really working on themselves spiritually to not get wrapped up in a lot of the very prevalent garbage that's out there that makes people kind of want makes people kind of want to be like Hollywood stars or something like that. Makes them want to live in a movie, live a life that's not realistic. And people should really be committed to learning Torah. If the spouses are committed to learning Torah and supporting Torah, then it shows that they're committed to working on themselves and trying to strive for purity, which is there's a huge thing in a marriage. Purity of the mind, purity of trying to do what's best for the marriage. So just to summarize, marriage transforms us into a better person before we're just half of ourselves. Intimacy is the most integral part of marriage, but not everything. But it's something to be taken very, very seriously. A marriage should be cherished and valued and really cared for. Like I've heard, marriage is like a garden. If you don't maintain the garden, very quickly things can start to die in the garden, and it won't look so good. So you want to keep your garden well maintained. Choose the right partner, maybe with help from friends, rabbis, family, and learning, the best qualities to look for in a potential spouse, and avoid things that will hurt your neshama and hurt your marriage. Be pure, and realize that marriage is something that is so integral to our lives that we would, God forbid, not want to do anything to damage it, only strengthen it, and yet make the relationship stronger every year. So thanks a lot. That was the 17th. And next time we'll be looking at Miy'ut Ta'anug, harnessing the power of physical pleasure. Thanks a lot.